Hi. We haven't seen you in
a hot minute.
Since Halloween. I hope your Halloween was good. I hope your Thanksgiving, if you celebrate it, was good, or time off work. I hope your Christmas is going to be excellent. I don't know if we'll see you before Christmas and New Year's.
Straight up. If any of you work for a hairdresser or a family with a hairdresser right now, you know. If you know, you know. Oh my god.
Move a little closer to you.
Yeah. Also, sorry, I'm eating my lunch while we're doing this, but
I eat during my videos sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway.
So basically, we're gonna talk about the Gremlin Part 4. I almost said his name. My bad. Basically, this is the last time I dated him, and the worst by far. I told you guys it was going to get darker. It was going to get worse. But the next one will be a lighthearted one. I promise you. We're not going to talk about dark things all the time.
Everyone cheer.
We're just going to start off with trigger warnings. Basically, the best thing to do is mental abuse will be shortened to MA. Emotional abuse will be shortened to EA. Because of YouTube's guidelines.
EA Sports.
And then SA, DV, etc. I'm going to let you know, DV is not a huge part of it, but there are still some instances of it. That's why I wanted to give you that trigger warning. So if you've been through something like this, maybe go watch one of our other videos. This probably isn't for you. Take care of yourself first and foremost, and we'll just see you in a more lighthearted one.
We'll see you when we see you.
You can watch the introduction. You can watch any other ones that are a little more lighthearted. We don't have many of those yet.
No, not yet.
It's fine. We'll do a
get there,
bunch of those next, so that you have them.
Literally right after we film this, we're planning more lighthearted stuff. So be on the lookout for that.
But if you've been here before, you know what we do. We talk about things on the internet no one else wants to talk about. If you're new here, hello. I'm sure you're wonderful. We'll get to know you. I saw that we got a new subscriber from my other channel.
Yeah.
Hello. If I'm getting your name right, I'm going to give you a shout out, the Spoopy Gamer.
Ooh, I like that.
Hello. Welcome. So if you guys want to get shout outs, maybe if some people from my other channel come over here, I might give you a shout out as well.
Yeah. Shout out.
Woo! Grab your cups, mugs, bowls, whatever you hold drinks in. One time I don't have a Starbucks drink.
Yeah.
And dive into the tea with us.
Woo!
Yes. I'm most happy you're going to see us this entire time.
Yeah.
So, also, if our lovely friend, the kitty, comes through again, he will. But it's okay.
Yeah, it's very likely
he can be a bright spot in the video.
Yeah, so if you don't like cats, sorry.
It's okay.
I just can't. I can't control him. He's little background. His name's Billy. He's 2 years old. He's going to be 3 in August. He's something else.
He's a cutie patootie.
Yeah, he's very cute. He just does whatever he wants, and he doesn't listen to me worth anything. So, yeah.
Okay,
if you see him, he could be taking a nap right now. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know his life.
So, let's jump in. We've got quite a few pages to go. So, let's jump into this.
Let's go.
So, summer of 2021, after COVID, things were opening up where we live. My semester was ending, or had ended. I don't know. The college was fully online at that point, because COVID had just ended, but it was like still online, kind of. So it was like, I think it was ending, because this was spring of 2021. It was ending.
Yeah, you were probably like...
Yes.
You probably had like a couple weeks left.
Yes.
Or like a month.
Yeah. So I was hanging out with the Gremlin because I connected with him, and I'll tell you why. I reconnected by messaging him if he had a demon connected to him or if he was okay after I watched a horror movie. I had a feeling I needed to ask him if he was safe. I don't know why.
Did I?
Was
I with you when you did that?
No, Kelly and I had watched the horror movie The Conjuring 1 on my computer, so we watched it on the TV when we set up the flat screen. So when we were rewatching them on the TV.
Got it.
I felt like I need to ask him because we were like civil with each other at the end of the last one. I said that. We were civil with each other. So it was like, I just felt like I needed to ask him if he was safe because I know he had been doing like witchcraft stuff. And I just want to make sure he was being safe and taking those precautions. We'll refer to him as he to protect his identity, or the Gremlin. I didn't have the Gremlin at the time I wrote this. So he or the Gremlin.
After.
I told him that there are people I'll always have love for. I was talking about this with him. We were having this conversation. I said my friend that was the pastor's oldest son that I mentioned in the last video. Someone who I'm going to call Theater because his name rhymes with that. And he was in theater with me. And him, meaning I'll always have love for you, you know, even if we never date again. The reason is why he was one of them is because he was my first real relationship. I never really had an actual, like, relationship until him. He was my most
Like,
serious
long-term.
relationship.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll always have love for you, even if we never date again. Pretty good reasoning, you know? He thought I meant that I still loved him when I told him that. That was not what I meant. I was not still in love with him. But that's what he took it as. Which, you gotta be really careful when you tell people you still have love for them. You gotta make it clear it's not romantic. If it's not. Because I did not make that clear. And then,
There's a difference between having love and holding space, lol.
Yeah.
Wicked. Hi. But, like, there's a difference between having love for someone and being in love with someone. It's two totally different feelings.
And this is the explanation. I had love and support for him, but I was not in love with him. So I'm like, I'll always love and support you, but I'm not in love with you.
Sorry, bottle.
I talked to him about it, and he said he was still in love with me, and he said that I could think about it. I think you can see where this is all going right now. But at least it's good that he said he would give me time to think about it. That's something good. If people don't say that they're going to give you time to think about how you might feel about them, that's not the best. At this point, I didn't know if I wanted to get back together with him. I didn't think it was a good idea. I really had to think on it. I was also working full-time at my first job. I didn't know if I should because of how stressful my life was. I'll make a whole different video on workplace stories if you want to hear about it.
Yeah, we've got quite a few.
Because I know I did, like, why not to gossip in the workplace video on my other channel, and you can go watch that. And I also made one about sexual harassment in the workplace that also happened to me. So you can go watch those if you want some backstory, but if you want a whole video here, we can easily do that. I had an attraction to him, but I didn't know if I had feelings. We would sit in a forestry place blocked by trees from the public. We would sit on a blanket and talk, and we ended up making out a few times. Because when you have an attraction to somebody, what else are you going to do? It was blocked. Nobody could see us. We were on a blanket. It was kind of romantic if it wasn't with him. You know. In this video, so there was another video that I had about this situation that I didn't post, but here's what I said in that one. I said if you call me a whore or a slut, you aren't wrong. I want to make very clear that that is victim blaming. I don't want to hear or see any victim blaming at all. Hope I make myself clear. I do not want to see any victim blaming at all. If you victim blame, I will block you from this channel.
And that's not even just
plain
on
and
this,
simple.
That's not even just on this video, just in general with any topic we talk about. It's not a victim's fault. Even, like, going back to someone that is abusive and stuff like that, it's not anyone's fault. Like, you can look at it that way and be like, why would that person ever get back with them? But when you're in that state and in a relationship like that, your brain is just wired so differently that logic just
They rewire your brain.
It's in one ear, out the other.
Yeah. So, I realized after a while I did like him back, and I decided to tell him. On this day, a friend of both of ours and his girlfriend came down, and we were hanging out. And I said, you know, I think I do like you back. The Gremlin said, well, I asked you out the first time, so can you ask me out this time? I thought that was weird, because we both liked each other, so who mattered who asked who out?
Yeah,
But I said, okay. I said the most casual, want a date. Because we had already dated like 3 times before. I literally just went up to him and said, want a date? That's the most casual way to point out. But we were our friend's OTP, so maybe we thought we were going to work. Everything was fine and healthy at first. How many times have I said that in these videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Just a couple.
I would come over after work and hang out, and everything seemed chill and nothing seemed sus. Sus is suspicious, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're, like, older and you don't know what that means suspicious. My mutual friend who had the New Year's Eve party lived next door to this guy. I made a friend through the friend who held the New Year's Eve party, and she's important to this story, too. I'm not going to mention her name. I'm just going to call her her. But she's very important to this story. I became really close with the girl. That's why she's important, because I was, like, best friends with her. Dates were great, but I also had to pay because I had the more stable job. I'm sorry, because I had a job. I'm sorry. I was trying to be nice because I had a job. Okay. I did not like how much he was smoking, and it seemed to take over his life. Again, I don't have a problem with people that smoke, but when you're doing it so much that it's hazardous to you, I care about people. I don't want anybody to do something that's going to hurt them. But, you know, I tried to help him quit when he said he wanted to, and nothing ever worked. Like I said in part 2, you can go back and watch that where I explain it a bit more. We would do SUL things sometimes. And after he got what he wanted from me, in that way, he would say, okay, I'm going to go smoke. Are you coming or staying here? Meaning stay in his room. Coming out was going out to the porch as he smokes on the porch. Sometimes the smoke sets off my allergies, so I would say, no, I'm staying in here. He'd be gone for 20 to 30 minutes at a time, smoking. I would be just sitting in his room bored. Every time after he got what he wanted, and he would be like, I have to smoke. Okay? And it's fine, but it was the leaving me alone and the blatant disrespect of we just did something SUL, like usually people want to cuddle after or check up, like, are you okay, or see if each other is good. He would just ask if I wanted to come with him while he smoked. Sometimes after he would get what he wanted, and I would be with no clothes on or just in underwear, and he would so rudely say, are you coming? The blatant disregard for my well-being and feelings. Let's digest that paragraph for a second. The blatant disregard of, are you coming? I could be naked. I could be in underwear. And he's just like, I need to smoke. Are you coming or not?
Like,
leaving me alone for 20 to 30 minutes to feel just completely like
used.
Yeah. And
like
no
like
cuddling, no checking up, no nothing.
Aftercare is important, people.
Yeah, it really is. My current boyfriend, like, told me that is something that is very important.
And it looks different for everybody also. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, if you're in a relationship or not. Like, even if, like, you have, like, a friends with benefits type situation or whatever. Like, after those kinds of things happen, like, you should be able to just be like, okay, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to just, like, hang out? Do you want to get something to eat? Like,
yeah.
Whatever. Like, just like, it should be casual and, like, natural. Not like, okay, I'm done with you. Bye. Like, I'm going to go do what I need to do.
I also want to say that, after this point it gets very dark, just giving you that warning for the MA, the EA, and everything. But also, if you see me doing this, because I realized I just did that, that's my nervous tick. So when I talk about things like this, I do that. I don't know why. I've been doing it since I was a kid, so I don't know why. After the Valentine's Day date, when we went on a hike, he started to change his personality. So we were going on a hike. I like going on hikes. I'm just that type of person. I like going on adventures, finding new things. And he got me M&Ms and roses are my favorite flower, if you don't know. So that was really, really nice, but still, you know.
Yeah.
I'll be sharing receipts by reading them because I have to omit many things. So where I would usually put the memos on the screen, there are a lot of people's names involved in it. So because I have to omit so many things, I will be reading them. But I will be putting a call log on the screen for you to see. I will be omitting the Gremlin's first name, but I'll be basically showing you how many times he called me.
Yeah. So
that's very important to this. I'm keeping his privacy by saying he was going through a hard time. Never out what someone is going through. No. You're an evil person if you're going to out what someone's going through.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but actually, now I got my degree. So as a, not really certified, but as a degreed, I guess, mental health aspirer. Hi, Billy.
Sorry.
Aspiring mental health, aspiring licensed mental health person. You never want to out what someone's going through, especially when it comes to mental illness, because that's just not cool. This is where the trigger warning comes into play, like I said, so be very careful continuing. If you want to click off now, you can click off. If you don't want to click off, don't click off, but this is where they come into play. So, I'm going to go to the March 18th. That's one of the ones I have written down. So let me search that up for you guys. Okay, here it is. So these are a couple of things that the Gremlin would say to me. So I'm just telling you these because if someone talks to you like this, I'm cutting out the witchcraft stuff because that doesn't matter. But if somebody talks to you like this, you might want to rethink. You can lie to anyone else as long as you don't lie to me. Well, I mean, that's not really that bad, but, you know, don't lie to anybody.
Yeah,
let me just put that. I had a friend in my theater class. We're not going to say his name, but he said about my friend in the theater class, he's one of your playboys. He was just a friend, wasn't a playboy, wasn't in anything. And implying that I had playboys when I was dating him was a little...
Yeah, that was odd.
He wants to fuck you. It's just a friend. I have more experience with guys than you. You are naive because you don't realize when a guy is flirting with you. I felt like you were trying to force your beliefs on me, and I do not appreciate it. He meant Christianity. I never force my religion on anybody. If people have questions about my religion, I answer the questions. But as a Lutheran, we are taught in the church not to force your beliefs on anybody. As Lutherans, we are very clearly taught, do not force your beliefs on anybody. We're teaching people religion the right way. We're saying don't force your beliefs on anybody, and then he was talking about my friend, saying if he puts a hand on you, he will unalive, as in the Gremlin was going to kill, or unalive, sorry, the friend of mine if he touched me. I hug my friends, you trust people too easily, including me, was another thing he said, which is kind of ironic, because he wanted me to trust him.
Yeah, I don't think he really thought that one through when he said it. Not that he thought out anything that he said. But,
we dated until April of 2022, and I broke it off the day before the year anniversary. You know, because I broke up with him the day before the year anniversary because that was what I needed to do. So then there's a March 20th one, which we're just going to do it here, because this is important. He said on a phone call, was you telling me that when did I say the Gremlin?
I think.
Okay. Well, if I did, I'm saying it here now. Was you telling me that when we are engaged and I could sleep at your house, a lie? We were not engaged. I will explain that when we get farther down, but I'm just reading these here right now. We were not engaged. So, just know that comes up later. He yelled at me, you haven't told him yet? Meaning I hadn't told my dad that we were engaged, but as I just told you, we were not engaged. Yeah, you should tell him. There was another time that he pulled me aside, and during the conversation we were having, kissed me when I was not ready. He just pulled me closer and kissed me. Didn't care if I wanted to kiss him or not. That's what he wanted. He was going to take it. Grabbed my arm and wouldn't let go until I asked him to. That is the DV I was telling you about. Called my trauma about my mom more simple than his. As in my mom unaliving was more simple than all of his trauma. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just baffled.
Yeah.
We got into a fight. He made me apologize for breaking up the first time I broke up with him, twice. I was acting, and he believed me. I had every right to break up with him the times that I did. So he came back to visit because he was staying with his brother and his brother's wife in Virginia. Okay, that's not really important, but the story is he asked if we could go sit on a bench outside the restaurant we were eating at.
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
Because we were done eating, so I said okay. Our mutual friend was still in the restaurant with the Gremlin's brother and their brother's wife. We were outside, and he was trying to pull the rose quartz out of his pocket that I always like to fiddle with. So he pulled that one out, and others fell behind the bench. So I went and looked behind the bench and grabbed them. As I turned around, this boy is on one knee.
Keyword in that sentence, boy.
And I said, Gremlin, what are you doing? He said, I want you to marry me. I said, we talked about a year. We're not there yet. I don't think this is good. He said, nah, I want you to marry me. And I said, I understand, but I don't think that. He cut me off and he said, I want you to marry me. I didn't give an answer. I didn't say yes or no or I don't know. I froze, and before I knew it, a ring was on my finger and he was calling me his fiance. I didn't say anything. Apparently my fight or flight is to just freeze.
In that situation, yeah.
I didn't say anything, and then all of a sudden, you're my fiance. If I did not wear that ring, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, we had to have a long conversation about that when it happened, because all of us were like, what the fuck?
Also, his friend that threw the New Year's Eve party, well, my friend that threw the New Year's Eve party, and the girl, we would also talk into midnight about that. Mm-hmm. We all didn't know what to do. Like, we were like, well, we kind of knew what to do, but we're like, you have to be very careful about what you say and what you do in situations like this, because you never know how the other person's going to react.
And I also want to point out, when this happened, we were all in our very early 20s.
Yeah.
Like, right now, I'm 25, she's 24. We were maybe 20 and 21 when this happened.
So when he grabbed my arm, I forgot to mention this when I read it, his brown eyes were so dark, they looked black, and there was just pure rage. And it was terrifying. I'm sure many people who have been through that can relate to how terrifying it looked. I had to wear the ring because I was scared what would happen if I didn't. The teacher in the classroom of the place I worked took the news the wrong way and thought it was good. She told everyone. She told everybody. So eventually my boss heard and asked my sister if a congratulations was in order, and my sister said no. The place should have asked me, but according to Kelly, my sister, they would have wanted it to be a surprise. So they thought my engagement was a good thing, which I don't blame my boss for thinking the engagement was a good thing. Usually it is a good thing. But the teacher in the room shouldn't have been gossiping about my relationship when I wasn't there, which she was already doing. Mm-hmm.
That's also just a whole other video.
Yeah, that's a whole other video. But so I don't have the Snapchat receipt with me, but he was cheating on me and posted it on Snapchat for everybody to see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think cheating is necessarily a mental illness.
Cheating's not a mental illness. It's a decision that people make.
I agree.
I was at school and still dating him, and he put this on his Snap story. My sister texts me and tells me this is on his story. I see it, and I got so angry. My sister had sent me the screenshot. I was more angry when I saw our private Instagram DMs on his Snap story.
Yeah. Like, that's just plain dumb, is what that is.
The DM was, he sent me a picture of a meme of a girl and her boyfriend, and the girl was basically saying that, like, something about a bed or something. I don't know what the point was, but I said, I better be the only bitch in your bed. Straight up. Don't know why I did that. I thought,
so angry, that's why.
I thought when he said, can I post that, he meant the picture he sent me, not our conversation. He posted the conversation. So a lot of people were messaging me, asking me, what is up with this? Are you okay? The second time he came to visit, I'll not speak on most of it because it's not my story to tell. It's the mutual guy friend between us story to tell. He was acting more like himself, except he asked to hear a concept I had for a script for a short film. He cuts me off in the middle and is like, well, that's fucking stupid. Or something like that. He knows that one of my passions is acting, so that was something rude.
Mm-hmm. Also, there's a way to give criticism. Like, if we have an idea, or one of us has an idea, or whatever, for whether it's for this or just anything in general, there's a way to be like, I like that, I don't like that idea. That's not like, hey, that was fucking stupid. It's like, okay, well, I don't necessarily love how we're doing this. Let's change it if you want to keep what you're doing. We can move around this idea and kind of, like, modify it. It's not like, hey, that was fucking stupid, and then just nothing.
It's literally called constructive criticism. It's a thing that I did in theater all throughout high school.
Exactly. And it's in everyday life. Constructive criticism is in everyday life.
There's a 38-minute phone call. The infamous 38-minute phone call. This is the most triggering stuff ever. Never will I release that.
Yeah.
Never.
For context, we've been friends for almost a decade. I was in the thick of this with her, and I can't even listen to it.
No.
Because I just know myself well enough to know that if I heard it, I would want pew-pew. Like that, that's the only thing I can say. And also just for myself, like, I know I couldn't handle it because to know that she was going through that and I couldn't do anything, like, literally kills me.
And Kelly was there during the entire phone call.
Yeah,
Because, one, the phone call is private, and two, it's something no one should ever listen to.
Yeah, it's something that we will never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, release.
We will tell you things from it and about it, but we will not release it.
Yeah, like, we've talked about it countless times, like, debating whether we want to talk about it here. Which is, we can, because obviously it's her experience. Everything that is happening to her, we don't have to talk about. And things that have happened with me, too. Like, you're going to see at some point, we're going to have mutual stories.
Probably one of the next videos.
Yeah, one of the next videos. I have experiences of my own that were also not necessarily this situation, but kind of similar to this situation. I was just younger. But there's things about that I will never tell. Mm-hmm. And there's things that she's gone through that she will never ever under any circumstances tell, whether it's something that happened directly to us or it's involved in a story that we have, like, or out of respect for someone else, we're like, okay, I will never share that information with somebody else. So that's just kind of like, just boundary-wise, that's a boundary that we have, and that's a very, very important thing.
There are things from this story I'm not even sharing with you.
Yeah. Like, there's things that have happened to me that I don't talk about, and I don't tell my best friends. Like, I will give them overviews, but I won't tell them, like, word for word what's happened. Oh, Billy.
So,
you're so busy.
This is not the stuff from the 38-minute phone call. This is just to give you kind of a introduction to, I think this was the phone call before that one. Called me a whore. Called me a peasant. Selfish whore. Conceited bitch. Narcissistic human being, manipulative, go to hell, Christian woman. I'll continue where I was.
Yeah, there we go.
That is how stupid you are. Filthy whore. Just a little girl who doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. I hate you now. Fuck you. You scarred my soul. You are the coward. You are the definition of a coward. You are a bitch. You ruined my life. Master manipulator. Goodbye, you fucking whore. Go die. Or go unalive for YouTube's standards.
Yeah.
That was the phone call before.
Before the big one.
The big one. Yeah. So, all this happened while I was at an ABUSIV workplace. I was my first semester at the university, and somehow I pulled all A's.
It boggles my mind.
By the way, the reason why the workplace was like that is because my boss was bullying me. The breakup
get there.
The breakup was over the phone. He didn't take it well. I didn't think he would. Obviously, nobody really takes a breakup well.
That was really the only way we could do it, though.
Yeah. The amount of ABUSE that is getting thrown at me every time I call or you call me, it was not working out for me. It just wasn't working out for me. After I broke up with him, this was a day after. I was walking down the stairs at my school, and I felt my shoulder be pushed, and I almost fell down the stairs. There was nothing and no one behind me. The stairwell was empty. He did partake in some witchcraft. As I said before, I think something that favored him tried to push me down the stairs. I still have no proof, but if you put two and two together where I felt somebody push me down the stairs and there was nobody there. I don't know if you want to say anything to that, but the woman thing tried to push me down the stairs. If you put two and two together, we can't prove it.
Yeah, yeah.
But that push was real. That felt like...
Yeah.
Like, that was real.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
That's a whole separate, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't tell you about my traumatic dream because a lot of lucid traumatic dreams that happen to me are about spirits and things, and that'll make more sense in the psychic video, so I'll just leave those for that. I already said I'm going to show you all the voicemails and the call log and everything, but also, if something happened to you, you have a right to tell your side.
Absolutely.
I just want to bring that up right now. A lot of people are going to tell me I don't have a right to bring this up. I do.
You absolutely do. And there's a way to do it and a way not to do it.
So, there are a couple of quotes. We'll go through these pretty quickly. I just want you, when you're listening to these, that if someone talks to you this way, it's not okay. That's why I'm reading these. Mm-hmm. What do I know? Tell me what I know. Very aggressive. Using guilt to make me feel bad. Saying that he just wants to, not exist.
That's a big thing. That is a very big thing in emotional ABUSC.
Telling me to do something, saying, make sure that fucking happens. And you won't break up with me if I do that. Manipulation. 100%. I would really like to keep you as a girlfriend, but that's becoming less and less of an option. At this point, I wanted him to break up with me.
Yeah.
I just said what I meant. Aggressive. All I did was ask for clarification. I don't know what's going to happen when I hang up the phone. I still don't know what he meant by that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wish you were here so I wouldn't have to do this over the phone. I asked him what, and he didn't answer. Then started saying 666. I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah, that we don't we don't really know what exactly all that was for.
I don't want to treat you the way you treated me. He thought by breaking up with me, he'd be doing what I did to him to me, and it would ruin my life. But it didn't.
Really would have just made it better, if we're being honest.
But that's not what's best for you, is it? Talking about us breaking up, and I told him I didn't know. Like, I didn't know until it would have happened. Me breaking up with him the first time, essentially, he said it was the worst thing ever. Which it is for a lot of people.
Yeah, like he has right there to be able to say that it hurt him and everything. Because that's how it happens when you break up with someone, that it does hurt. Like, you can't say that it doesn't. It does. Mm-hmm. But... And you can, like, people can say, oh, it ruined my life, like, blah, 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 but you can't make that other person hold guilt because there's, most likely they probably hold guilt of some sort. Even if it is an ABUSIVE relationship, they probably do hold some type of guilt with it.
He said that...
Unless it's mutual. Then if it's mutual, that's a whole different thing.
He just said about me that she confirms that I can't hurt a woman, but then he's slapped me plenty of times. Yeah. Am I not a woman?
No, to him, you're property.
You don't mean to, but sometimes you're really toxic. After he just said I was good for him.
Which, like, anyway, like I said, this is the part where he says stuff like that I'm like, I can't, my brain doesn't work that way because it's not, I think you know what I'm trying to say. I just can't really put it in words.
Every single fucking time you did it over text like a pussy. Meaning breaking up with him.
And to clarify, the only reason that we did it that way, and I say we because we were all there at that point, was because we felt like there was no other option of how to do it. Because he wouldn't get the point if you said it in person or if you said it over the phone or whatever. He would be like, no, we're not, like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like, wouldn't accept it, I guess. So.
I was trying to change the subject and kind of be calm. So the thing I thought to say was thank you. I do have one of those. Again, I'm in my young 20s. And he said, yeah, don't use it.
Yeah,
I don't. I didn't at the time. And I hated you was another one. I'm pretty sure every single time you broke up with me, it ruined his life. Okay, I'm not gonna say this part because it involves a lemon, and
you don't want to know.
You don't want to. You don't want to know. I'm smiling and laughing because I'm so uncomfortable. You do not want to know.
Yeah.
So every time Kelly makes a sound, I'm getting angrier because she shouldn't be there. This was in my house. My sister's allowed to be in my house.
Yeah, she lives there. Sorry about it.
It pisses me the fuck off because no one's in the room with me. It's not like she wasn't even listening to what he was saying.
Yeah, she was just there.
She was just
existing.
She was just breathing.
Yeah, she was just existing.
I'm just irritated, and Kelly is making it worse. I said, "I'm sorry my sister made everything worse by existing," with clear tone in my voice. And he said, "Yeah, you basically summed it up."
Which, the fuck is that?
I said, "That's not a great thing to say to me."
No, it's
and
not.
He said, she's been instigating every fight and every conversation. And I said, no.
Which is...
She lets me have...
Wrong.
Which she lets me have the conversations by myself.
Exactly.
And he said, she's always tried to butt in every single time. I said, not every single time, only the last 2 times, this being the second. And he's like, I don't know if that's true. And he says, if she doesn't stay quiet, I will leave and disappear. That's how I'll put that.
Yeah.
I just hate every living, breathing creature on this planet except his pet. So that would count me and the mutual friend as well. I don't hate the mutual friend, but you hate me? A part of me does. That makes sense. Part of me hates me. He said, very aggressive and loud, because you destroyed my life. I said, yeah, sounds about right. I said, sounds about right. He cut me off and said, because it's the truth. I said, yeah, I mean, you're speaking the truth. And I said, I'm glad that you're being honest about this. That's good. And he's like, I'm gonna have to whole different conversation. And I said, I never said I would break up with you. And he's like, yes, you did. I said, no. He's like, you said you would leave me. I said, no. I said I wouldn't see you. And he cut me off and said, date me. And what I meant is I wouldn't see him, not break up with him. And he's like, you knew what that meant to me. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not in your head. I don't know what you think when I say these things.
It also that's another thing that comes down to communication.
You were incredibly manipulative. Well, if you want to talk about, I said, well, if you want to talk about manipulation, you have been manipulating me almost every time you call me. He did like a chuckle scoff thing. And I said, and I'm sick and tired of it, and it needs to stop. And he said, well, now that you've stopped, I'll stop. And I said, I have been manipulated my whole time through senior year, and I'm not. And he cut me off and was like, I've been manipulated worse. And I'm like, okay.
That's like comparing trauma at that point, and there's no reason for it.
Yeah, he did. And he said, I had to manipulate you. And I said, why? Clearly angry. And he's like, because you manipulated me. And I said, how did I manipulate you? And he said, I told you exactly how you did. And it was because I wanted him to get better, is how I manipulated him. Just saying, I want you to get better. I want you to get help. That's manipulating. I didn't hold anything over his head. I didn't say I was going to break up with him. I didn't say I was going to take his pet cat away. I would never do that to anybody. I didn't say anything like that. I just said, I want you to get better for you.
And people that are in that state of mind will think that telling someone, it's like an intervention. They think that you trying to help them get better means it's making them worse because they think they're fine. They think there's nothing wrong. They think they're thriving. They think they're doing the best they've ever done. But you trying to get them help makes you the enemy because you want to see them actually be in a better place, and they will take that the wrong way almost every single time.
Yeah, and then he started listing everything that I did to make him better for him, but clearly it didn't make him any better in his mind. And then, okay, I didn't even That's a whole, that, some of these things I'm skipping because they're too triggering.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Laughs, that's such a stupid Christian misconception about selling soul.
Which, like, whatever, he can have that opinion.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah. Saying that nobody loves him when I was still dating him and still clearly cared about him.
That's another thing, too, trying to make you feel guilty
and
for holding him accountable.
I'm just going to say this as a blanket statement. I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but a lot of people will say that they're going to harm themselves or that they're going to unalive themselves just to scare people.
Yeah.
He said something to the tune of that, so I'm not quoting him. I'm just saying that a lot of people say that to scare people.
To scare people into staying.
Yes, and so please be, like, yes, people can say it and do take it seriously, just in case it is a serious saying, but sometimes people do say it as a manipulative tactic to get you to stay. And yeah, so.
Yeah.
That's that. There are just last side thoughts that I wanted to bring up. I hate how Fix Him has become a trend in music because you can't.
Yeah, that's not...
You can't.
No.
I know that Olivia Rodrigo, I mean, I love her. She's sweet. But her song, I Am My Father's Daughter, so maybe I can fix him. Please do not take what anybody's saying, or like the Taylor Swift song, I can fix him. No, really, I can. I know in that song she actually says you can't.
Yeah.
But just by the title, I want you guys to know that you can't. Unless somebody is willing to get help themselves, you cannot help them.
Right. And it's different, too, in the context of I can fix him, meaning, like, you can help him or her, whoever, or them, whatever. You can help this person to change and change their behavior and grow and blah, blah, blah. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about I can fix him in the sense of I can take all of these bad things and turn it into something that's good. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm trying to think of the Sabrina Carpenter lyric. She says in one of her songs, I forget which one it is, but if you know it, please comment it because it's going to bother me. But it's off of Short and Sweet, and she says, I can make a shit show look a whole lot like Forever. That's kind of what we mean in this sense of, like, I can fix him, meaning I can change his manipulative tactics and stuff like that. That is a very dangerous rhetoric to have. And even later in the song that Sabrina has, too, she's like, oh, wait, no, I can't. That's a big deal. It's, like, you can't really fix anyone. They have to want to do the work and work for themselves. Like, you can have a conversation of, like, okay, this is not going well, like, something needs to change here, and they need to be the one that ultimately decides to put in the work to change those things. Like, I can say with one of my very close friends, I've done that, like, in the past couple months. I'm like, hey, clearly something's not working. Like, I've had conversations with this friend of mine, and I'm like, okay, something needs to change, something's not adding up, this isn't going well.
Oh, he's eating out of here.
That's okay. So, like, we've had conversations of, like, these things need to change, and then the other person, like, acknowledge, like, yes, I agree with you. These things need to be done, like, boundaries need to be set, or whatever, stuff like that. We've had conversations like that before, and then things have changed. Like, that's the sense of I can fix him, where it's like, it's okay. Like, you can have conversations and acknowledge, and both people can be like, oh, yeah, I agree with you. Like, let's do this, and that. Does that work for you? Like, are you cool with blah, blah, blah? That is in the sense of, like, that's normal. Not the, I can fix him, change everything he does, abusive type of thing. That's not where you can fix someone. They're gonna be like that until they want to do the work themselves and fix those things. Whether it's through therapy or any other, like, means. Or medication, whatever the case may be.
The second point is pretty self-explanatory because we only have 3. The second one is you don't want people obsessed with you.
Yeah, you don't.
I know a lot of people romanticize that, and it's usually young people in middle school that don't understand that having someone obsessed with you is not fun.
No, it's not. It's scary.
And I really hate how people are romanticizing that in movies and TV shows and books because it's not. If you want to know an accurate representation of somebody obsessed with you, I know that everybody hates this book series, but give it a chance. If you read 50 Shades of Grey, but read the gray one from the guy's point of view, it does not romanticize it. It shows him losing his absolute mind and calling her repeatedly and how bad it is from his point of view. But that kind of lets you see how bad it is. Because they're not romanticizing it. That lady does a good job of not romanticizing. She romanticizes abuse that she thinks BDSM is. But she doesn't romanticize, like, his basically decline that he's going through.
Yeah.
The last one is, I want to make it clear, the Gremlin never loved bomb me. Only Cupcake did. Gremlin never did that. I want to make that very clear. I know a lot of people, when they think of ABUSIV relationships, they immediately go love bomb. That doesn't always happen.
Yeah, that's not
That's usually only with a narcissist.
It's very, like,
that
it happens, but it's not, like, it's not as, like, cut and dry. The same. In every relationship.
I just wanted to put that out there because, you know, everybody thinks that it immediately is. Usually you'll only see that with a narcissist. They love bomb.
Sorry, guys. There's it's like really raining and like super windy and like low-key looks like a hurricane, but it's not. So if you see things blowing and us like just randomly looking backwards, that's why.
So not just everybody
FYI.
does. But yeah, I know that was hard to get through. There's probably going to be a lot of things cut out because we just kind of talked. But yeah, like we do not out mental illness on this channel ever. No. We only talk about things, and I only talk about things to try to help you guys if you see this happening to your friend or a loved one or it's happening to you. Again, we'll do what we did last video. I'll link down the resources down below. I'll put the National DV hotline down below. I will also put the Wikipedia link I put. It has all the different countries and all the links to websites from all the different countries. So I just put that down there so wherever you're living, go. Again, like we said, like she said on the computer in the last video, you can go incognito mode and that doesn't show up in your search history. Same thing. I'm actually going to show you guys how to do what I mentioned. So if you have an iPhone, you go onto Safari. I don't really want you to see what I looked up. It's just in Norwegian, a word in Norwegian. So you see this square at the bottom, right there, that one. You're going to click that, and down there, there's an option to go to private. Go to private and turn your Wi-Fi off. So the way that you do that is you go to this drop-down menu and you turn off the thing that has the, kind of looks like a rainbow. You turn that off on private mode and then it won't show up in your search history when you go back to your normal. So you can do it that way if you want to feel a little bit safer than going on a computer and doing it, but you can do it either way. So if you don't have a phone, you can do the computer. If you don't have a computer, you can do the phone.
Here, I'll show you how to do the Google thing, too. I didn't think about this last time. But if you're in this is just the regular Google home screen. Oops. If you have the app, this is what it looks like. So you're going to go to where your account is right here. I don't want to show you that, but scroll down, and then it says turn on incognito in that first one. Click on that, and then this is what your search history, which is what your browser will look like. And then everything else, like your history and everything like that, will not show up on here. And then when you're done, you just click turn off, and it goes back to normal. So, there you go.
So those are ways for you guys to access those links, whether you're on your phone or you're on a computer or anything like that. I just want to make sure you guys are safe, so we're definitely going to put those down below. Any other resources that we think might help, we'll talk amongst ourselves and put those down below. But next video, we will be getting a lot it'll be more lighter.
Fun, I promise.
Yeah, we're gonna do probably a couple of fun ones or what the fuck ones in the middle. So next time we see you, we'll be a lot happier. But to end, cheers.
I'll use my bowl. Cheers.
Bye, guys.